system. I think it will work for Karnes County. We won't have paved roads tomorrow. It has to come slow when we get there. But I think the unit system is good.
Thank you, Mr. Yar. Mr. Bean.
The unit system is what we have, and I'll support it wholly. I do believe right now we have the right man in charge of our road and bridge. Can I work with him? We've grown up together. We have no problems working together. If people will just give Mr. Biotric half the chance, the unit system will do just fine in this county. But they have to give that man the chance, because he is by far the hardest working man in this county right now. And I've spent the last 3 days with him, and his telephone rings about 9,000 times a day. And none of them, darling, how are you? Other than in the morning and in the evenings. So, yes, the unit system will be fine, but we just have to give Mr. Biotric a chance to get it going.
Thank you, Mr. Bean. Mr. Jude.
Yes, I am for the unit system. I talked to Jeff, and he said that there's no way that this thing could go back to a different areas as far as where it goes. He said the equipment, the old equipment was sold out, and this thing has to work, and we have to get together and make it work. There's no other way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jude. Mr. Burris.
Yes, I support the unit system, and it will work. It will work, and I'll tell you why. I'm bold enough to sit here, humble, and tell y'all why it will work. It's because of, like Mr. Bean said, that phone ringing 9,000 times. Like he said earlier, he cannot walk into Walmart with having 3 people come up to him and complain about the road. Keep up the good fight. Hold these people in office accountable, and push the issue, and it will happen.
Thank you, Mr. Burris. Ms. Chester. I'm sorry you started with the question. Thank you. Get a little carried away. Okay, for the next question we have, who is responsible for setting the appraised value on homesteads and other properties? I hear citizens complain and blame our commissioners and county judge. Is it their responsibility? Mr. Beaver.
Repeat the question.
Who is responsible for setting the appraised values on homesteads and other properties? I hear citizens complain and blame our commissioners and county judge. Is it their responsibility?
Yes, I believe so. It is our responsibility to set the rates.
Thank you, Mr. Beaver. Mr. Janschek.
How the county is run is determined by how much revenue that we take in throughout the year. The commissioners get to vote on how money is spent. We need the money to be allocated. They have to approve a budget. They have to get approved financial things. They approve raising taxes, maintaining taxes, many different things. So yes, they are in charge. What all trickles down to the appraisal rates of the county. Yes, they are. That's what it is. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Janschek. Mr. Yao.
No, I don't think commissioners are responsible. They do have some responsibility, and I haven't found out what all the duties and responsibilities of the commissioner are yet. I have looked at a book, but there are many laws referred to in there that you have to go up and look in the law book and see what the exact wording is, see what the responsibilities are. I think the value of a homestead is set by appraisal board. It's been established for several years. If you're in that age group for a homestead exemption, the commissioners have the right to vote on some homestead exemption, some certain amount they can exempt from taxes and so forth. But no, the commissioners are not fully responsible for setting a homestead.
Thank you, Mr. Yao. Mr. Bean.
Well, I agree with Pete. I don't believe that the commissioners are responsible for setting the appraisal of your property. That it's set by a board at the appraisal district. The commissioners set the tax rate once the budget is worked out, but the appraisal board is who sets the value on your property.
Thank you, Mr. Bean. Mr. Duke?
Mine is short. I agree with those two guys.
Good, thank you.
Honestly, we shouldn't have been involved in that.
Thank you, Mr. Duke. Mr. Burris?
I actually agree with Mr. Bean. Short and simple. He pretty much said what I was gonna say.
Thank you, Mr. Burris. Ms. Chester?
The Commissioners Court sets the county property tax rate, but I believe it's the appraisal office that sets the values of the property according to their guidelines. Other than that, I really would have to look into that. I just don't want to falsely tell anybody the wrong thing, but that's what I believe.
Thank you, Ms. Chester. Okay. The next question. What do you see for the future of Karnes County financially? How do you intend to manage the county fiscally? Mr. Yanacek?
There is a lot of money being spent on the annex building, of course. There's a lot of debt that will be incurred in that. There is also a lot of revenue that's going to be generated by the oil field company, by the oil that we're getting out of the ground here. I already heard stories. And there's still quite a few oil wells to be drilled yet. So all this stuff needs to be managed. It needs to be managed correctly. It needs to be looked over correctly. There's a lot of questions that need to be asked at all court meetings. It needs to be taken up. And I see in the future that there will be revenue generated, but even oil field companies, even oil does run out. So this all has to be planned ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yanacek. Mr. Yao?
Well, I've looked at the budget, and it doesn't look real healthy right now. I think the Commissioners Court has planned on spending money from the oil companies before they have it. We're going to have to be very conservative with what we do, and we get all the money from the oil companies, we have to use it wisely. I can't say exactly how I'm going to handle it, but when I get in there, I will be as conservative as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yao. Mr. Bean?
Well, I know there is, everybody knows that the oil projects around here have been running hot and heavy, including our road administrator, because he's having to deal with all the companies tearing up the roads. But in their behalf, the majority of them are helping him put these roads back together with big numbers, spending big dollars on our roads. We can't hang our whole hat on what we're hoping is going to happen, but that does look like one thing that's coming. I've heard of a hotel supposedly coming into Kennedy in a roundabout kind of way. I can't say names or where it's going to be, but I have heard talk of it. Things could look really good for Karnes County. They really could. If this oil field deal does come through, Ms. Jonas's office has been just run over. If you walk into there, she needs to have people draw numbers. I mean, they're everywhere. And what her office has taken in the last 2 months is just amazing amount of money, and it's all to do with the oil field people. So, I mean, these people, they're not coming into this little community and putting in an office over here and just for no reason. I mean, they're here to stay for a while. Like I said, we can't hang our whole hat on something that's we hope's coming or that looks like it's going to happen, but if we play our cards right, this could be a very good thing for us.
Thank you, Mr. Bean. Mr. Jude?
Within 2 miles of my house, there's 5 wells being drilled. I didn't see a penny of that oil well yet. There's a lot of people that won't. Everybody is expecting to make a bunch of money out of this oil. Nobody knows yet where this oil is coming in, one way or the other. So we can't spend the money that we don't see. And that's what these people are doing. Now that's all they talk about is, all this oil is coming in, we're going to do this and we can do that. We don't have it yet. So don't go out there and start saying, hey, this oil is here. We got to think about it. Yes, it can be, but let's don't go out there and spend the money before it's even in here. We got to look at other ways besides just oil. There's got to be some other means of getting this in. That's all I got to say.